To quote the great Thomas Cruise, the hits keep on coming. So, if you know the channel, I've been covering the Louis Repetto, Aaron Smith-Levin fracas. And a lot of people are still in denial. In fact, Marilyn, as well as some of other Aaron's allies, are very explicit now saying, we're not going to talk about it. It's over, guys. He's gone away. Let's not talk about it. No, he hasn't gone away. His channel's still there. But anyway, but now we have another possible major scandal. And to be fair, it's not clear that Aaron is linked here at all, although there is an Aaron connection because, Aaron's going to Aaron. So let us get right to it. What is happening? Well, I want to stress this is a rumor at this point. I cannot verify the full information, but apparently with Streets LA, and let me be very, very quick, Streets LA is a kind of radical protester in LA. His real name is William Good. I am not providing any private information. William is public with his information. He has a company out in Los Angeles. He's been very public as this kind of celebrity slash radical activist, keeping an eye on the police. Sometimes he does good work, sometimes he does not. So what happened? Well, William's channel at this point is bigger than Aaron's. Now, I don't think he really does anti-Scientology, but good or bad, sometimes he does, quote, anti-Scientology content. It's really stupid, but there it is. So he's got quite a large following. So to be fair to him, this will happen. When you get bigger and bigger and bigger, things will happen. So for a while, he's had this weird cultish group. I am not joking. This is their name, the Good Girls. Yeah, it's really weird. And this is not just me speculating. I've been in the chat. Well, I should be more accurate. I've seen the chat because they do subscriber only. They really echo chamber. But anyway, these Good Girls are like, if you do follow Streets consistently, they're everywhere. They're either moderators or in the chat, constantly boosting him, flirting with him. It's just very strange stuff. But again, you think to yourself, Streets is an adult and he can do what he likes. And maybe if these Good Girls and him are doing things, whatever. So apparently one of the Good Girls is doing some whistleblowing and accusing Streets of doing something very close to LR. Again, this is YouTube. I can't be too explicit. If you want more details, you got to go to the channel memberships. Again, I'm not trying to squeeze people, but I got to be very careful about what the accusation is. It's just the nature of the charges of a certain explicit nature. We'll put it there. And that Streets was showing pictures of himself in a certain manner. We're going to leave it to your imagination. So apparently he was sending this woman pictures, and there we are. Now, the obvious question is, well, is this true? Can this be verified? Also, why is she speaking out now? Is this consistent? Has he been doing this for a while? Because he has quite a few scandals. Let me just drop an additional bomb. Again, these are rumors, so I want to be sketchy here. I want to get some confirmation. He's been doing this for a while. Like, he's just been doing this. Like, on camera, he does like to terrorize women. So the idea that he would be stepping over the line with these various women is really not shocking. And I had a really big question for a while because, if people don't remember, he kind of semi-retired for a little bit. He stepped away from the whole anti-Scientology movement saying, oh, it's just getting so crazy. Oh, it's too crazy. These anti-Scientologists are even more crazy than the Scientologists. Da, 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 da. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, well, he's still making money. He's basically just slicing up his videos and showing old clips of himself. And I'm like, why do you take a break? And I would suspect it's not just this one, but he also had another kind of romantic Scandal Brewing. But as far as I know, this was not a Good Girl. This is another woman, and he was caught flirting with her, and it was a little strange and goes against his image. So at the end of the day, he seems to have several scandals brewing in the background. Does this matter? I think with William, people have said, well, listen, I really don't care about any of that. The question is he an effective fighter? Well, I don't even know if he is, because again, what is his big thing? It's that he just annoys and terrorizes the Scientologists. Again, I can't deny, sometimes he's effective, he's funny, but he's not very well informed. I mean, even when he's mocking the Scientologists, it's like very basic. It's very basic stuff, like saying, oh, you guys believe in Xeno and volcanoes? You're stupid? Xeno and volcanoes? Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, so those are the rumors, but let me go more with the facts. And this is, I think, where it's going to get really weird and interesting very soon, because there's a third figure here beyond Aaron and Streets LA, which is DOA. And this is where we're going to get to the Aaron angle, because Aaron here is in a bit of a pickle. No pun intended, or even whatever, romantic pun. Because remember, a few months ago, he and DOA had a big falling apart and going at one another. And one of the videos is so bizarre. Like, Aaron just can't help himself. He could just say DOA, which is true, has a very weird, shaky criminal record. And although I'm very critical of Scott, you can't deny he sometimes is effective with the messages. However, he could just be open saying, listen, I just don't like this guy. He's taking too much from me. He's a little too popular. I'm going to cut him down to size, da da da. But now Aaron has to try to make it a moral issue. So DOA got into this big back and forth. And here, there are some facts here that he was demonizing some of these female activists, like Ham It Up, who was this woman from Canada. And I tried to double check just to be fair. And like, there was nothing. He just accused her out of nowhere, saying, "Oh, I think she's like an OSA. I think she's trying to bring me down. She's a bad actor." And like, and Ham It Up is like, I didn't do anything. I just went down there. And again, there was just a lot of chaos a few months ago because DOA was trying to organize this Occupy movement, and it just didn't work. And he just started blaming all these women. And so Aaron comes forward and saying, "Okay, guys, listen, some of these women, they're not comfortable. They're not speaking out. I have to speak out for them. Okay, that's a problem, Scott. Okay, these women feel uncomfortable, Scott. Women should be free to speak up, Scott." This is all Aaron, by the way. And I'm like, okay, obviously I don't believe Aaron, but I'm like, all right, the principle is fine. Yeah, DOA was trying to like damage the reputation of all these women and try to create this weird witch hunt. And as far as I know, he presented zero evidence. It was all conjecture, saying that Becky and Ham It Up and all these people were just scheming behind the scenes to put him in jail or whatever. Now, again, I'm not saying DOA is totally wrong. Like, he had a very weird conversation with Nora, and Nora was acting very suspicious, trying to like force him to admit to crimes to put him in prison. So some of his paranoia is justified. Clearly, Aaron wants to get rid of him. So it is not above Aaron to quote put Nora up to like, now what you need to do is just get him on the record. Yeah, I could just call my friends at the FBI and do. So Aaron is a tricky fish. I'm just questioning the framing he did, that's saying, guys, somebody just speak up. You know, these women in LA, they're very vulnerable. They need help. I will not stand by and let these women be terrorized. Okay, do I really believe him? No, but that is his stance. So unless he has taken down the video, which I doubt because it got a little bit of traction, so that was his public reason that Scott was bad, that the women in LA were feeling uncomfortable. Okay, well, we're going to have to wait and see with Streets LA, but if this is true with Streets LA, what's Aaron going to say now? Because with Louis Repetto, he's like, guys, my audience doesn't care about Louis Repetto. No, who cares about Louis Repetto? Who cares? Okay, so the nature of the crimes don't matter to him, right? Apparently, the only really bad guy in LA is Danny Masterson, right? That's the only really bad guy that he cares about. Okay, fine, whatever. But if this thing with Streets LA is real, if Good is covering up another scandal, what is Aaron gonna do? Is he gonna be like, "Oh, that's different, that's differential. That's private life." Okay, that's it. I don't know. I don't. Again, we're in the land of speculation here. We don't know yet for sure. I'm guessing Aaron is gonna play dumb and say, I don't know what's happening. I don't know." Well, if you don't know, why'd you speak up with the case of DOA? Were you there? Do you even like Ham It Up? Do you really care about those female activists? Because DOA does point out, like, there are a lot of female activists out in LA. He's not helping them at all. The only time he wants to, quote, help them is to get at DOA. So, yeah, it's all very, very iffy and scandalous. But I will say DOA is in a weird position because if he can get access to those images and that evidence, he's going to have something on Streets LA, right? And he could also embarrass Aaron because he's like, whoa, Aaron, you think I'm a bad actor? I need to be called out for my relations with the women. Okay. Well, what about Streets LA? What about these images? What about these photos? What about these pictures? Because it just looks bad. So he's covering up for LR, and he's like, "Yeah, guy, I don't know about Louis. I don't know." Is he going to play the same thing? Is like, how many times is this going to happen? Like a huge scandal happens, he's just going to cover it up because it doesn't look good for him? I don't know. I don't know. So, again, at this point, it's speculation. We're gonna have to wait a while for more to happen. But if there is evidence of his weird interactions with his good girls, I don't know what Aaron's gonna do. He's gonna file it under, oh, that's private life. It's like me and Heather and that stuff. Let's concentrate on the OSHAs. I think something's here because the Buddy Molly Streets LA has been raising a weird cult like environment for a while. So I think there's something to investigate. That's my humble opinion.